Welcome Thessatizen base, and here we go Man City versus Man United. Has Ruben Amorim's or Pep Guardiola's rebuild shown greater promise so far this Premier League season? Manchester City and Manchester United have a rebuild on their hands, but despite indifferent starts, have they shown signs of promise going into the new season? The Manchester derby takes place at the Etihad, live on Sky this Sunday, with kick-off at 4:30 p.m. by William Bitibiri, football journalist at William Bitibiri, 1056 UK, Sunday 14th September 2025. Manchester City and Manchester United meet at the Etihad on Sunday as the validity of their respective rebuilds continues to be scrutinised. For the first time in 4 seasons, the Premier League trophy is in a different home. Tasked with bringing back what has been City's on 6 of the last 8 occasions is Pep Guardiola, but he is in uncomfortable territory. United are all too familiar with the promise of a rebuild. Ruben Amorim represents the 6th permanent time of asking for a manager at the Old Trafford club to restore the glories of the past. While for Guardiola, after 9 years, his longest spell at a club, he navigates another reboot to restore more recent success for the first time in his managerial career, still yet to provide proof that his footballing concepts can bear fruit. Amorim, on the other hand, must convince fans that a record low finish of 15th in the Premier League was a blip in his first full season at the helm. After the penalty shootout defeat at Grimsby, the Portuguese boss suggested something had to change, implying that it could not be the players, leaving the door open to speculation over his future. Days later, Amorim backtracked on his comments, putting them down to emotion, explaining, "Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years." That frustration perhaps could be born out of the fact that United are doing the right things, but are lacking the results and points to reflect their improvements. United have only scored 1 goal from open play this season, but the underlying numbers appear much more favourable for United. It is very early on in the season, but Amorim's side have generated the most expected goals, have had the most shots, and created the most chances in the Premier League so far this term, reflecting a freer, flowing attack. United have also hit the post 4 times across their 3 opening fixtures as their new look forward line attempts to improve on their return. Incomings in the form of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo have made for a more expressive United in forward areas, but there has also been a greater emphasis on a more direct style, with United also leading the Premier League in long passes completed. Signs of improvement extend to United's newly found willingness to battle, a side of their game that has often been criticised. Only one side has bettered United this season when it comes to duels won and aerial duels won. Amorim will be desperate for his side's promising numbers to translate into victories. United's win over Burnley before the break was a much-needed one, but the Manchester derby offers further opportunity to reflect proof of concept. Guardiola is the only current manager that Amorim has faced more than once in the Premier League while remaining undefeated. Amorim beat Guardiola twice during the 2024/25 season, the first as he led Sporting to a 4-1 victory in the Champions League days before taking up his post at Old Trafford. Ahmad then sealed a late comeback win for Amorim at the Etihad last December. The Manchester derby ended goalless when the 2 last met in April. City's unprecedented dip in form last season pushed the club into uncharted territory. Their lowest points total under Guardiola in a trophyless campaign last term prompted a summer rebuild. But their woes have dripped into the new season, with Guardiola making his worst start to a league campaign since 2008. Kevin De Bruyne's departure signalled a new era at the Etihad. Summer signings, James Trafford, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Rayan Cherki, Rayan Ait-Nouri and Tijani Reinders, added to January acquisitions of Abdulkadir Kusanov, Vitor Reis and Omar Marmoush, among others, to create a new-look City under a new director of football,